Hi, this is Jordan, and this is my presentation for this class. So, this is the order of what I'm going to be doing things in. I'm going to be having an introduction I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about my reasoning for choosing my certain text, the comparisons between this text and the other texts, and I will be talking about class activities and what I enjoyed in the class, as well as a small summary. So for this text, I've chosen Subnautica. If you haven't heard about it, it's a survival exploration game that takes place on an alien water planet after you crash. And the only way to escape is to go deeper, to get resources, to eventually make a ship that will take you out of orbit. But the deeper you go in the game, the deeper in the ocean and the deeper in the plot, you realize that there's secrets that are being trapped under these waves in this ocean. And your goal eventually has to be to uncover them, because otherwise you will never be able to escape. So the reasoning behind my choice, as you can see from this image of this Leviathan, it is kind of scary. So it has aspects of a good storyline and horror. This text is a very solid storyline, as I've just said. For it being an exploration game, it has great world building and lore. World building in the literal sense, it's a survival game. You kind of look at the world and build things, but that's besides the point. The lore in this game is what really would capture my attention. It has a lot of pieces of lore spread throughout the ocean and throughout the different crash sites, and you can learn more about the other survivors that were in the crash that you were in, and you can learn about what they did to survive, and if they survived. Quick answer, they didn't, but it's just a lot of information to go over, which would be good for a class like this. You'd be able to talk about a lot of things. And it also has one very canon ending. There's not a multiple endings to talk about. It's one solid ending, just like in a book or a movie. And it closes up the story well, and this will be a good topic for students to talk about. That will talk about the ending and what things they would change to it. As for the aspects of horror, this game is an ocean diving game. So it has a lot of water and a lot of water creatures, and if you have a fear of water, like most people do, then this will definitely mess with you. It also constantly feels as though you're being watched by other monsters or things in the water, and most of the time you are. If they see you, they will come after you, and then you'll have to haul your ass out of there. But who doesn't love a good chase? Comparing the text to the other text that we've read so far. So my text, when I'm comparing it to the others, is it targets the idea of horror differently. Most games and texts that we've talked about in the movies, for example, have either had a comedic aspect to it, or they've been strictly horror, or in the case of that one vampire book we read about, it would be more just a regular book with aspects of horror in it, such as vampires. Vampires are horror, So this, on the other hand, is a psychological horror game. It isn't supposed to be. I'm sure actually it might have been planned, but the psychological horror is that you will often find yourself in deep water, not being able to see very much in front of you. And it just adds this feeling of emptiness, a void, you're the only one there. But it also feels as if you're not, because you can hear sounds and you can see various outlines of stuff when they get close to you. So you'll be passing by different objects, and then it'll go back to being pitch black again, and you'll be able to hear stuff, and it really gets to you, surprisingly, for a game. And it makes you feel very alone, and it gets in your head, and I think this excels at this aspect of horror. And also, again, it has a satisfying ending, which is something that we can't really quite say about some of the other books and movies we watched, but let's moving on. This will be your students after watching or playing Subnautica. So my idea for the class was that the class activity would be you, for example, playing the game through and recording yourself, and I think that's a positive because you love playing games and you'd get paid for it. And then you could also have the students play or watch playthroughs from some other YouTuber if you don't want to have that. So you could like maybe watch a Markiplier playthrough or whoever else plays it if you find some guy you want to listen to. But the students could write about the actions that you or the other person took, and they will have a certain amount of likes. And by this, I'm trying to like bring into that YouTube, Twitch aspect where they can like a certain thing, and they will be able to like a certain list of actions that you have written down. So the students will be able to like the action, and the action that gets the most votes or likes in this case would be the action that you guys talk about for the entire class period. Why did he do this when he was in this situation? What would you have done otherwise? And that can just be a quick little like assignment you can just give to your students, a quick activity. And I think that'd be just pretty cool. You can also just do your own like twists on it. And part of the things that I enjoyed in the class was like the introduction to the new stories that I've never heard about, or in some cases I've heard about it but I've never watched the movies or read the books. And I feel like for a lot of your students this will be a good new experience. You know, maybe people have heard of Subnautica but they haven't played the game. Maybe people have played a little bit but never given it the full chance it deserves, or maybe they played it through and just haven't looked at the lore logs or everything, because there's a lot in this game. And I feel like there's a lot to talk about. You know, there will never be a lack of things to talk about for this. Another element that made me enjoy this class was our conversations about the text. And again, like I just said previously, there will be no lack of things to talk about. This book has a lot of lore, a lot of story, and it has a lot of actions. And since it's a game and you control your character, there will be actions that you, as a player, will make that they can agree with or disagree with. For example, did you use the materials in the right thing? Did you go to the wrong area? Did you get lost? You know, did you decide to fight something you should have decided to run from? Stuff like that. You know, I feel like there's a lot to talk about for games like this, and I feel like not many classes give them the chance they deserve. And, you know, all in all, I think this semester has been great. Thank you very much for all you've done for us, and I hope you have a great summer.